Hello you, it's me, and I just had to make this video because I've tried Betterhelp and it was a horrific experience. And so I decided to look up reviews to see, because it's been a few years since I tried it, and I thought, well, let's see if it's gotten any better. And if you look on Trustpilot, which is the site I'm on right now, you'll see that it's a 4.5 rating. But then I read some of the good ratings as well as the really bad ratings, and there's a big difference. If you look here, BetterHelp creates a safe space for your mental health. Okay, who would say that? If I'm rating something, I would say, oh yeah, it's a really good quality, I enjoyed it, blah blah blah. That seems like, okay, my opinion, that looks fake. The app can get stuck at times because that's a huge complaint. But the small issue pales in comparison to the eternal benefits received from the therapy. The most important thing is that you, as an individual, have to do the work in order to see your world differently. And this was July 10th. Again, if I am talking about my experience, am I going to say, oh, it's all on your shoulders to do it? It sounds suspicious to me. So I've read further than this, of course. I read some others. Okay, here's another 5-star. It starts off okay. BetterHelp has given me a great way to get the care I need for my mental health. Okay, that sounds like a person would say that because it's about themselves and their experience. Then it says, it gives me the ability to match efficiently with a therapist, and I have different ways of staying in touch with my personal therapist via chat, phone, or video chat. That sounds a little suspicious because that's another complaint that people were having trouble matching with a good therapist, and a lot of times the complaints say, well, they didn't show up or they canceled it 5 minutes before. So this, yeah, to me this sounds a little suspicious once again. Again, my opinion, I'm not saying fact, I'm only giving my opinion, and I will tell you after my experience with BetterHelp. Okay, here's another one that's a little suspicious. I appreciate the quote from the Bible. It is written, but be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. Again, it's pushing the idea that if you don't do something, then it's your fault if it's not working. And that, I mean, sure, somebody might say, it's hard work, but it's worth the effort. Sure. But the way that these things are worded just sound fake to me. And here's another thing that's very interesting. All of these 5-star ratings, there is not one 5-star rating where BetterHelp made a response to it. And you say, oh, well, because it's a 5-star rating. But I've seen a lot of these companies, they'll make a response, oh, thank you very much, I'm glad that you're having a good experience, I'm glad that we're helping you, etc. Not one of these 5-star ratings have a response. So again, to me, that's a little suspicious maybe. I don't know. Okay, this is another positive rating. It says that it's a fantastic way to see discreet and much-needed mental health services, which was almost identical sentence to a previous 5-star rating. It's easy and convenient. The video chats are very convenient. My therapist is wonderful. I receive texts and reminders. That's another thing people complained about, is they didn't get any of that. I can message my therapist and she can respond in between sessions, blah, blah, blah. Again, no response to this. And if you read it over and over, read more of them, they just have very familiar language, and they're very specific about, we have great therapists and they're really helpful, and you'll find them really helpful, but you have to do the work. All right. Which, I mean, yeah, of course. If you're going to see a therapist and they make suggestions as to what you can do to help you with your issues, yeah, you have to do the work, of course. But these, again, to me, just sound really phony. Okay, this is one of the 1-star ratings. And what this person has said is they tried 3 different therapists. Each one didn't really offer any help apart from listening and asking how I'm going to solve my problem. I am not in the mental or financial space to be wasting money and time like this. I'm really upset about the outcome of Betterhelp. I agree with you. It can be very expensive, and they do charge ahead of time. They charge you for 4 4 therapy sessions up front. And a lot of people are complaining about that because they weren't told that. A lot of people were told that they were going to get discounts that they didn't get. And a lot of people are complaining that when they tried to cancel, they really struggled to get anything canceled. Okay, and this one complains exactly about that. That they were supposed to get a discount, they didn't get one. The therapist was terrible, very late, failed to show up on the second appointment. This is common, and it really surprises me. Again, I think that BetterHelp is actually putting in all the 5 and 4.5 and all that stars. I think they're actually doing it because if you look at all the 1 stars, all the 1 stars have responses. Are they good responses? Not really. But anyway, I digress. I'll continue. Okay, here's another one where they said they were stood up several times. And it's very frustrating when you get charged ahead of time for the sessions and then they're not even there. Okay, now I could go on and on about all the reviews and how I think a lot of them are phony, but I'm just going to tell you what happened with me. I decided to get BetterHelp because I have very high anxiety, and I thought maybe they could help me, give me some tools to manage my anxiety a little bit better. And that's what I was looking for. So the first therapist they gave me, he seemed okay. We did everything via text, which I found a little uncomfortable. I'd rather not just text. I'd much rather talk. And so he asked me toward the end of the session, is this okay with you, or would there be a better way of communication? And I said I would much rather use the phone so that I could talk. And he told me that wasn't available because he was deaf. He didn't tell me that until the end of the session. And the session itself was very, hi, how are you? What's going on? It was very basic. It really didn't go anywhere. And I didn't feel like he was going to go anywhere with me, and I was definitely more comfortable talking with someone. So I decided to get a different therapist. Now, mind you, when you do go into therapy, they have a journal thing that you need to fill out every day, or you're supposed to fill out every day. And in that journal, you just write down your thoughts, your feelings, and then they read them, and they can better address, the different things that you wrote down in the journal. So while I was waiting for a new therapist, I was writing down things that were bothering me every day. And the one thing that came up for me the most was just feeling very stressed because of my financial situation. It wasn't the best. And so I was worried. And that was it. That's pretty much all I said, is I was worried about it. So I got connected with a second therapist who, before we had a session, he read over my journals, and the message he sent me was, well, we're not here to help you with your finances. Maybe you need to manage your expectations better. Which I thought was a really nasty way of talking to me, especially when I specified that I'm an anxious person. And who doesn't get anxious over money? Especially when you're not making, the money that you'd like to make, etc. I think it's a pretty normal anxiety. But I thought manage your expectations was the rudest thing I ever heard in my life. And so, and then the guy canceled on me when we were supposed to have our first session together. This was the second therapist. And I just said, you know what? No. I'm better off on my own. The anxiety I felt reading those words, it made me worse. It made me absolutely worse. It took me about a month to honestly recover from the experience I had from Betterhelp. And so I canceled it. I made sure to talk to my credit card company and tell them, do not let this go through again. Completely block them. Do not allow them to try to take any more money out. I paid for 4 sessions. I got 1. And to this day, this is like 3 years ago, to this day, I still get a message every day saying it's time to write in your journal. To this day. They just hold on. They just hold on. And it really, people that complain about them just taking money, that's a real thing. I thank goodness I have a good credit card that just stopped it. And at this point, if they didn't stop it, then I would have canceled the credit card because, or just said, oh, my credit card was stolen. I need a new one, so that they couldn't get into it, because they are notorious for taking people's money and giving them nothing. There were tons of people who were complaining about therapy sessions, like I said, being canceled, or their therapist never showed up. They never communicated anything to them. And this is just a really bad company, in my opinion. Not deserving of a 4.5-star rating. And I'll tell you that it's gotten to the point where if I see a YouTuber, and YouTubers that I really love, like Trixie Mattel, I no longer will watch her channel because she is sponsored by Betterhelp. And so I won't watch it. I won't watch the thing that Trixie and Katya do together, their podcast. I won't listen to it either because Betterhelp is so bad. And the fact that they're promoting it, it just kills me because it's so bad. I have read years ago when I actually tried out their service. Afterwards, after the experience I had, I went and read other people's experiences, and let me just say that the rating was maybe a 2.3-star rating. It was really low. I think, like I said, maybe they've learned if they, again, allegedly, my opinion, that they doctor up a bunch of positives so that they get a better rating, so that they look better. But read the 1-star, 2-star, 3-star ratings. Read them. Because on and on and on, it's the same exact things over and over again. They charged me too much. They continue to charge me when I canceled, and the therapists were horrible. Or I didn't even get a therapist. Some complained that they took the money and then didn't even connect them with a therapist, or told them, oh, we can't help you, and still took their money anyway. This company is so bad, and it makes me so mad that there are so many people that are still supporting them. They need to be, what needs to happen is a big, I don't know if there was a lawsuit that was made or not. There should be, though, because they have taken people's money and they don't give the service that they claim to provide. They just don't. By the way, the second therapist was going to do it via text message on their website as well, even though I requested a phone or a FaceTime thing. They don't care. They're just there to take money, and they're not there to help. They're just not there to help. They're terrible. Anyway, I just wanted to say that because I get so frustrated when YouTubers that I really like are being sponsored by them, and it's like, did you not look into it? You have to look into the good and the bad and really make an informed decision, because spreading around this company, I mean, they're hurting people. If you read some of these low-rated responses to their company, these reviews, they're hurting people. They hurt me. And I don't even know what to say. It's so frustrating. They're not good. It's not good company. My opinion. Allegedly, they've stolen from people, and the therapists don't show up, or they don't help in any way, shape, or form. They don't even give ideas on how to handle problems. Nothing. They don't do anything. They just say, oh, and how does that make you feel? Guess what? That's not really helpful. So, anyway, I had to say something. I don't know if anyone cares, but you should, because there are some really good therapists out there who can give you tools to help you to manage your stress, your anxieties, and all that. There are good therapists out there, but they're not at BetterHelp. That's all I got to say.